Hello! Welcome to Through the Mist with me, your host, Joe. This is a Word Verse Day podcast where we look at the law and try to understand how it all works. In this episode, we're going to be looking at, well, stuff. Oh, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Welcome back to Through the Mist, yeah. Whoa, we're gonna have... I can't think of anything that rhymes. Hi, Miss Busters. Hello. Hello. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome old, welcome new, welcome young, welcome... I need something to rhyme. I'm bad at rhymes. So I don't want to say old again. So I can't say young. Welcome young. Welcome blue. Why am I wanting to rhyme with new? Okay. Yes. Hi. So. This episode is kind of an amalgamation of things I had in my theory list that I was like, I can't really do a full episode on any one of these. Well, maybe I could on one of them, but I didn't want to. So I was like, I'm just going to combine them. So we're going to jump around a bit and just have a bit of fun. But, as always, before we do that, we have to go and have a look at last month's question and find out what the people thought about the things. And so, last month's question was... Who came up with the ancient laws within the world of Percy Jackson? And remember, these questions are posted to Instagram at through_mist. So I'm sorry if you don't engage in the Instagrams. But this is the only place I have decided to engage socially on the medias. So, sorry there. I get it's frustrating when you're on a... See, it's like me when anyone posts anything on Twitter. Like, I just can't, you know? I've never had access to it. So, so that's what we have. And we do have a response to that question from Darian. And do you know what? This time I couldn't be bothered to read it. So, here is Darian's message as delivered by Brian.
I don't have a theory as to who created the ancient laws, but the episode gave me thoughts. The ancient laws presented by Riordan are the oddest part of his world building. They absolutely serve the narrative in raising the stakes and granting the characters more individual autonomy. But the idea of intangible laws that restrict the abilities of the gods is opposed to the numerous examples of divine behavior in ancient Greek myths. Here takes Artemis's bow in the Iliad. Apollo attacks Patroclus, knocking his armor off, to keep Patroclus from sacking Troy. Athena and Hermes tag team, literally guiding Perseus's blade to slay Medusa. In the myths, gods directly meddle in matters because it reflects the cultural belief that humans are just playthings of the gods. People have no real control of their fates. But that mindset doesn't fly in American narratives today, especially not in middle-grade adventure books. So we don't have gods stepping in to dex machina their problems away. And that's far more satisfying for readers. I get why Riordan introduced the ancient laws, but he never acknowledges that the gods certainly didn't obey these laws in ancient times. I think it's a missed opportunity for Riordan to have examined why it's not good for gods to have been so active and that these laws were enacted after the fall of Rome or something. And that could explore a theme of balance, where we've reached an overcorrection, where the gods are outright ignoring their children now. And that creates new problems.
So, what did we think of Brian? He's probably not going to be a regular appearance. But it was another long one. I just didn't want to read. I can't read today. So that's why we did that. But yeah, all very solid points. And I do enjoy what you said at the end about how you could have had this fun thing where back in the day they meddled, then they went, let's not meddle, and now they're not meddling enough, and everyone's getting angry, and Luke decides that the best way to deal with this anger is to overthrow them with the help of an infamously annoying, previously overthrown king. It's never usually a good idea to bring back the king that was rebelled against. That's not usually a good idea. Not really a good idea, that one. Just in general, guys, just so you know. If someone was rebelled against, don't then try and maybe not. They're probably not going to be the best person to reinstate in power afterwards. But sometimes maybe, But, probably not. So yeah, we will, quick rambly rambles. We will get on with the episode and jump through the different things we have to discuss today. What are we discussing? Well, as I said, multiple different things. In fact, 4 different points I've got. So we will start with point uno, 8-legged horsepower. What do we mean by 8-legged horsepower? Wow, we're going into the world of Magnus Chase and the gods of Asgard. Gods of Asgard? Gods of Asgard. There we go. And we are looking at how much theoretical horsepower does Stanley the horse have. So, first of all, let's go to basics. What is horsepower? Horsepower is defined as the work done by the force of 550 pounds acting through 1 foot in 1 second, or foot-pounds of work, the unit of power needed to raise 550 pounds 1 foot in 1 second. Confusing, right? Horsepower is a unit of power. More commonly, what we would come across these days is unit of power. 1 horsepower is 746 watts of electrical energy. So, that's electrical energy. It's power. It's not energy. I know. Calm down. Don't kill me. But that is a unit we'll be more familiar with these days of power is watts. Also, just to break the ice, horsepower is just a marketing tool invented by James Watt to get people to buy his steam engines. It's just a marketing tool. That's all it was. It was, your horse can pump up this much water in a day. Mate, I've got a steam engine that can do the work of 5 horses, That was what it was, to pump up water from a mine. That's what it was. That's what he was doing. So, the peak output of a non-mythical horse, and this is the peak output of a non-mythical horse, is around 12 to 15 horsepower. But this would only last for a very short period of time, just a second. So when James Watt was inventing what a horsepower was, he was imagining a workhorse, walking around in a circle all day to pump water, and how much water that could pump. It was what he was doing, pumping water from mines. That's what most of the first steam engines did. I think James is the one that converted the steam engine from being up down to a rotary system, which meant it could do more than just pump water, because that's what a lot of the first steam engines did, was pump water. However, we are dealing with a mythical horse, in our case, Stanley, not flat Stanley, a different Stanley, 4 times the number of legs, and doesn't lift anything in the books. So I sat here for ages. I did a lot of research into how horsepower is worked out, how I could make horsepower worked out, because there's mechanical power that these scientists did. It was very it got a lot. So I went, okay, I'm going to break it down into something that I can understand and go with SI units and just see what happens, and just break it down to its most basic function. So I started with, horsepower is a unit of power. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I've got the conversion from watts to power, so we go with watts. 1 watt equals 1 joule per second, or the amount of energy used per second. Okay, joules is energy. So, what is energy? Well, energy is force times distance. So 1 joule equals 1 Newton meter. Okay, we haven't got down to the base SI units yet. Okay, so what is force? Well, force is mass times acceleration. Okay, then you can get really complicated. Okay, so power is mass times acceleration divided by displacement, all divided by time. That is what power is. So that's its simplest form. So the easiest way to do this would be to work out the mass of the creature and what it's carrying, good estimate of acceleration, so hopefully a 0 to x over a set distance and within a set time. And then hopefully then we can get the power. And I'd probably convert everything and then convert it back. That was the plan. However, I could not find any numbers to make this work. No distances, no displacements, no time was given in any scenario that I found talking about Stanley in the books. It was just, he ran fast. He flew in the sky by doing Sanji kick legs. What is it? Jet? What is it called? Jet? One Piece. Flying with legs. No, that's not what I wanted. CP Cipher Pole powers. What are the 6 abilities? Moonwalk, that's what they call it. They call it moonwalk. Sanji moonwalk. Anyway, okay. Right, where was I? I was talking about a horse moonwalking. Yeah, you couldn't find anything. Nothing. There's nothing available. Absolute zero, zilch, zada, dis, bas, bosh, nothing. And so I don't have any, I can't give you an answer. So I didn't want to stop there. I was like, you know what? Let's see if we can work out the horsepower of at least one mystical horse in this universe. So I went, Orion, Hazel's gold-eating best friend of a horse, you know? Because I went, well, I definitely know we get a lot more information about distance and time with Orion. And then again, we can fudge the mass and hopefully we will get some form of acceleration distance. So yeah, we do have better mass, displacement and time information, but acceleration, trying to work out acceleration from the information we're giving is really, really hard. You get these numbers from Ella, like when they're running, but realistically, like you can't put a set distance or time to them. And like this is already when he's up to speed, so like power factor, the amount of effort you put in to get to these high speeds once you're at those speeds, you know? So it's just amount of work done to do that. So it's just again, it was really odd and dodgy and hard. It just, you know? Yeah, I don't have an answer for you. And I feel like that's a letdown. But what are you going to do, eh? Nothing. Next thing, the conversion rate of golden drachmas. Yes, that is right. We're working out the conversion rate of golden drachmas. And I started this one after I had slowly started to lose my mind with working out how to work out horsepower. So I'm going to make this as simple as possible. And I'm not even going to look at the books. I am not going to try and work out the cost of things and how many drachmas are used from the books. Nope, I'm just going to work out if you were a mortal and someone had left a golden drachma on your desk as a payment, how much money would that be worth to you, you know? So let's start with the basics. If you didn't realize, like I didn't realize until a while, until I was older than I would like to admit, the currency of drachma was a recognised currency of the world in modern Greece before they joined the euro. My brain never put that together because my head, Greece has always been within the euro, always been part of the euro, so I've never quite collected that. But the drachma does have a modern and ancient equivalent. And obviously, golden drachmas, coins of the gods, we're going to use the ancient drachmas as our basis for these. So, ancient drachmas were minted on weight and how much it weighed. So the worth of one drachma would be worth a certain weight of the coin, and usually silver, or at least silver in colour. So apparently this was commonly about 4.3 grams, and that was used by Athens. So, again, it's a solid place to stick our golden drachmas to be coming from Athens, because it's Athens. So, now, golden drachmas. If you're a god and you're making golden drachmas, that is going to be pure 100% unadulterated gold. Horrendous material to do anything with except look pretty. And they're gods, so they're going to have a go. They're going to be one as vain as possible, one of the most high-end, purest gold we can get. So, 4.3 grams. We have the weight of this, and we know it's going to be, and we're saying it's going to be made out of pure gold. Simple equivalent then. So, at time of research, I looked up the cost of gold. And, thanks to the Royal Mint website, there's a graph that just tells me it right there and then. And at time of research, 1 gram of gold would cost you $2,942.38. That's right, a lot of money. Therefore, 1 golden drachma in 2024 would be equivalent to $12,652.23. That is right, a lot of money. However, just out of intrigue, I could go back and look at how much it would have cost in 2005 when the books initially came out. And when I tell you, the price of gold shot up in the 21st century, I'm not lying, because back in 2005, the entire drachma would have been worth $1,789.23. You what? That's a lot. That's a big number. That's a lot of mate, gold. If you have pure gold somewhere, you are sitting on a small killing. So yeah, conversion rate of golden drachmas. Boom, done, simple, nice and easy, nice and happy. Didn't we like that? So much nicer than the rest. Part 3. So, I had this thing in my list, just Hebe X satires, and I went, what's that from? Why did I put that and add it to this list? I can't remember now. Turns out, it was a challenge from Rick himself. And I just went Hebe X satires into Google and then enter, and then the Void of Wiki appears up, and it comes from Wrath of the Triple Goddess. And it's Hebe sponsors daycares for satyrs. As a result, Percy suspects that Hebe is responsible for satyrs aging at half the speed of mortal demigods. That was it. That was what I was getting at when I went, is there a connection between Hebe and satyrs and the half-aging thing? But I didn't write that. I just wrote Hebe X satyrs in my notes. So, right then, Rick. Can I solve this? And the answer is no. No, I can't. Sorry. Rick, you haven't given me enough information. What are you doing? You want me to try and work out if this is true? I can't, because you haven't written enough to tell me it's true. This is it. I can't say it's true based off Percy speculating. I need hard evidence, harder facts than that. I need Grover to tell me, then I would have it, But, so basically, there's no mythical connection between the two. Absolutely none. And then the half-aging thing is a Rick invention anyway. So, if Rick doesn't give me more information, more hard evidence, than just Percy going, maybe, I know, it's a fun idea, isn't it? I can't say yes or no. Mid-yawn. Can't say yes or no. I just can't. It's not good. Not good no business. Not good business from my point, I've got to stick to line somewhere, and twice now I have gone, I can't do it. It's impossible to work out. So, I don't just, as much as you might think, that I just pull at strings, the strings, and just go, just tie this together. That doesn't make sense, but I'm going to tie it together and make it work as a long linear line anyway. No, I don't. I do pull at the thinnest and tiniest strings in the world. Look back at the centre of Midgard for the absolute most ridiculousness I've done on that level. I think that is top. That is peak pulling at strings level to make something work that Rick just went, meh, why not? It'll be fun. But not today. The horsepower, I don't have enough information for. This, I don't have enough information for. To definitively say yes or no. It's, okay, so there. Ow! Oh, I just slammed my... Oh, my... Oh. Final one. The final thing we're going to look at today is something Robert suggested a long time ago now, and I have been putting off until now. And that is, who is the strongest demigod? That is right, we are answering the major question of who is the strongest demigod. Canonically. And there's something we need to just quite, like there's a lot of ways to measure strength. And, you know, but there is, usually when we say strength, we're talking about one thing, and that is power, and physical power, more specifically. So, who are our contenders, everybody? That's the real question, is who are the contenders for strongest demigod? Well, I can cut this down to 4 very quickly. Thank you, Chion, for at some point saying that the big 3 tend to be more powerful than all the other demigods. Boom, we're only looking at big 3 demigods. Thank you very much. So that's 4 people. So, now may I bring up to the ring in the red corner. I don't know what I'm going to do. I could do something really fun here and go in but I can't be bothered. So we've got Percy, Jason, Nico, and Thalia. That's it. Boom, 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 bang. Done. Percy, Jason, Nico, Thalia. Child of Poseidon, the children of Zeus, and the child of Hades. Why haven't I put Hades in this list? She's Pluto. I'm an idiot. It's 5 demigods. Oh, God, blimey, Owen. And yes, Bianca, but she becomes an Artemis too quickly. We don't have enough evidence for her. Hazel's thing. What is Hazel's thing? She has the mist thing, but the mist thing isn't really linked to her being Pluto's daughter. So, probably raising a giant, and yeah, I think that's the main thing. I think that is her main thing. So, what I have done and what I was just working out there was I've come up with their biggest shows of power, you know, between all of them. That's Percy, Thalia, Jason, Nico, and I've just added Hazel, as you heard. So, Percy, Mount St. Helens, the casual cyclone, and the poison thing. I feel like those ones, top things. Thalia, defeating the Furies at the top of Half-Blood Hill. To be honest, that is Thalia peak. Jason, I've got Taming the Wind Spirits, Lightning Strikes, and whatever he did on Mount Orpheus. Nico, we've got Shadow Travel, and whatever that thing with Bryce Lawrence is. That, ugh. And then Hazel, as I just said, because I worked it out, raising a giant, and maybe, I don't know about the underground thing, the gems thing. I think the gems thing is like that leads to the giant raising. It's like, that's it. But yeah, I'm not sure. Now, purely on vibes alone, I immediately want to get rid of the Children of Zeus. It's nothing against the Children of Zeus. I just don't think we've seen them do enough cool things. You know? I think we haven't seen proper power from them, you know? Unlike some others. Like, I think the coolest thing Jason does is Mount Orpheus, but we never see that. We haven't seen that. I really would love a prequel book so much. We haven't seen that. So I can't judge it, you know? And then I don't think in Who he does anything better than Percy, you know? Thalia is in a similar position where her cool story is all pre us meeting her at all her biggest moments, and then she quite quickly becomes a child of, no, not a child, a hunter of Artemis, and you lose some of her, specifically her Zeus specialities, because the hunting side of it, the bows and arrows, all that is kind of generic hunter stuff. So I just don't think she's got enough cool moments to really say she's the strongest, you know? Now Hazel, I haven't worked this out yet, but I'm thinking about what I had previously had in mind, and I need to think about what I think about Hazel. And I do think Hazel is also probably not up there. Like, I don't think Hazel's up there. And again, I think it's just we haven't seen her do enough cool things. And she has her missed things, but as I was saying when I was trying to work it out, and what her moments of power are, I don't think they are related to her being Pluto's kid. And I don't know why, but that wants me to cancel out her mist and magic powers. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I think that she's still a demigod. No, they count. They count. So this makes it harder. Labyrinth and tricking and magic. That makes it harder. That does make it hard. No, they should count. I've just talked myself into believing they should count. So, our final three: Percy, Nico, Hazel. Previously, I couldn't work out. I didn't feel like I couldn't decide who was more powerful, Percy or Nico. I think Hazel's now in that boat as well. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep my plan before, and we're going to it's up to you guys to decide. I have broken down top three: Percy, Nico, Hazel. Done. Percy's feats of power: Mount St. Helens, casual cyclones, poison thing. Nico's feats of power: shadow travelling across the world with a freaking statue the size of Mount Everest. It's a bit exaggeration, but you get what I mean. And whatever that thing he does to Bryce Lawrence's, that is like power, you know? Hazel, being able to raise a giant, and all her cool magic and labyrinthy stuff. Why do I combine the two? Because her coolest moment is with the labyrinth. But I'm going to leave it to you guys to work out. I'll put a poll in the Spotify episode, so you can, if you're listening on Spotify, you can go and rate the poll, and it also will be the question of the month. So that is. So thank you for indulging this theory. If you have any comments on this theory or theories you only want me to discuss, you can email them through to through.t.miss@gmail.com, or you can follow the Instagrams @through_mist. Make sure to like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, whatever you have to do to help get the podcast out there. I've been Owen, and come back next time as we try to see through the mist. By the way, it's my birthday the day this episode comes out, so yay!